choosing to retire despite health challenges. His favorite on-campus activity was riding around in his wheelchair, spreading smiles and positive energy. Manny changed many lives and inspired many of us. He was the first person to greet students at DSPS. Countless students have shared how his unwavering optimism and personal example served as a powerful testament to the human spirit, demonstrating that with courage and resilience, one can accomplish the seemingly unimaginable. Juan Heron was the interim women's basketball coach at Los Angeles Southwest College. His prior service to the district was in the same position at West Los Angeles College. On behalf of the entire Los Angeles Community College District, we extend our deepest condolences to Jeronimo, Lai, Montero, and Heron's families at this most difficult time. Please join us in a moment of silence for Andy Jeronimo, Christopher Lai, Manuel Manny Montero, and Coach Juan Heron. Great. We are going to move on to public comment. The First Amendment and the Brown Act guarantee a member of the public the right to criticize a public employee or public official in the performance of their duties. However, speakers are encouraged to focus their comments on the issues relevant to the conduct of the public's business rather than on private and unrelated matters. Speakers are reminded that the Brown Act and First Amendment do not protect defamatory statements made, which may subject a speaker to personal liability. I see there's some members of the public signed up to address the board regarding regular agenda items. Just one. Okay. We have Derek Blassingame. You can come up. Hi, Mr. Blassingame. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Derek Blassingame. I'm a former student at Los Angeles City College. I'm here today to request that you all withhold any funding that's on today's agenda for Los Angeles City College. And the basis for my request is that I have been inherently and vehemently targeted by the administration over at Los Angeles City College for racial discrimination. Because I am a Native American-born citizen. I was in a class with 99.9% foreigners or people who immigrated to this country. The professor during the 16-week class called me a nigger. He called me a pussy. He called me a faggot. He called me gay multiple times, crazy and stupid. I have 3 college degrees. My most recent one was from Georgia State University. And he did this for 16 weeks. There was a 2-day suspension that I followed. I thought the situation was settled. After the semester ended, I came back on June 15th to an additional 6-month suspension because the Dean Alvarez, found some additional issues that he didn't bring up during the original suspension or student conduct. So I'm asking you all to withhold any funding for Los Angeles City College because they have a racial discrimination issue on that campus with a lot of the immigrants are trying to make that campus hostile toward American-born citizens. It's a very hostile environment for people like myself because they want to keep it immigrant-friendly. They don't like Black heterosexual men participating in the campus with the exception to using our energy, using our intellect, and robbing us of our finesse on that campus, our athletics and things like that. As long as they can manipulate and sabotage and take those things, then we serve a purpose. But other than that, I think all of this has been because I'm a Black man and that they perceive me to be a heterosexual, which I've never disclosed my sexual orientation. They just gave me an assigned sexual orientation on the campus. And Dean Alvarez targeted me. He's a Hispanic man. He targeted me from day one. He told, "Oh, I'm trying to help you." And you know me, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. So I knew anybody who's trying to give you unsolicited help. My mother taught me a long time ago, unsolicited help is the worst help you could ever engage in. So just run from it. So I suspected that he was after me, and based on the 15-page document that he claims I did all of these bogus accusations and to justify why I'm not allowed at the college library and why I'm not allowed to participate in non-credit courses, tuition-free courses, which taxpayers fund, it's not justified. So I'm asking, I've been trying to reach somebody at this board multiple times. I've actually reached your legal office, your legal counsel office multiple times. Nobody's returned my calls. If I don't hear from somebody by Friday, 5 p.m., Monday morning, I'm going to federal court and file a lawsuit. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay. There's no more public comment? Okay. Chancellor, we're going to move on to disclosures. Chancellor, would you please lead the agenda item on disclosures?
Thank you, Board President Hernandez. Prior to proceeding to a vote on matters before the board today, the trustees are requested to advise staff if there are any items on the agenda for which they have received a contribution from a participant in the matter, which requires disclosure and recusal under the Levine Act or another conflict of interest law. Trustees, when your name is called, please advise if you have disclosures to make on any of the items on the agenda, and if so, identify the agenda item for each such item. Please also state the basis of the conflict by either identifying the donor or by disqualifying campaign donation or by providing information about the another disqualifying financial interest. With that, I'll take roll call. Trustee Buona?
None that I know of.
Trustee Henderson absent. Trustee Hernandez?
None.
Trustee Hoffman?
None.
Trustee Eno? Trustee Vela?
None that I'm aware of.
Trustee Vettis?
None.
Okay, great. The Los Angeles Community College District holds land that originally and still are inhabited by the Gabrielino Tonga Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians, Kits Nation, and the San Manuel, San Fernando, and Fernandeño Tatavia Band of Mission Indians. We honor and respect their elders and descendants as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. Before we proceed, Chancellor Roman, are there any changes to the agenda and order of business?
Yes, thank you, Board President Hernandez. We respectfully request to move out of order consent calendar. This is item I-10 for action to be taken after the approval of the agenda. This item is to approve the posthumous degrees or certificates for West Los Angeles College. In this particular case, student Andy Jeronimo. We also have one correction to be made for consent calendar item 14. This is to ratify international travel. The Los Angeles Trade Tech College listed should also show a total of 4,000 of ASO funds that were used, not 716 as currently listed.
Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda and order of business with the requested amendments?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Trustee Buona, seconded by Trustee Eno. Roll call, please.
Trustee Buona? Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vela?
Yes.
Trustee Veras? Student Trustee Campos advisory vote?
Yes.
Okay, we will now take action on consent calendar item I-10 that was moved out of order. Can I have a motion and a second on item I-10 to approve the posthumous degrees and certificates for West Los Angeles College student Andy Jeronimo?
So second.
Moved by Trustee Wellna, seconded by Trustee Eno. A roll call, please.
Trustee Buona?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vela?
Yes.
Trustee Veras?
Yes.
Student Trustee Campos advisory vote?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, colleagues. We're now joined by Dr. Matt Jordan, president of West LA College, to provide a special presentation.
In lieu of Dr. Jordan, we have him testifying in Sacramento today. We have Dr. Archibald, VP of Academic Affairs. Welcome,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Archibald.
Good afternoon, board members. Thank you so much. And Chancellor, thank you for this and for approving this item. Today, we want to acknowledge the passing of Andy Jeronimo. We have several of his family members here. Could I come forward, please? Andy was a beloved member of our police orientation and preparation program family. His loss was deeply felt by his classmates, his instructors, our colleagues at LAPD, and everyone who knew him. He was an exemplary student in his final semester with the program, and he was just about to graduate before his tragic passing on May 29th. After graduating from POP, Andy planned to apply to LAPD and eventually to join the gang enforcement detail. With the approval today of the Board of Trustees, Andy will be awarded 3 Associate of Arts degrees in liberal arts and sciences. the Associate for Science in Transfer and Administration of Justice, which is the primary degree our POP students receive, and 2 certificates of achievement in general education. So I just thank you for your attention to this and your time today. And we continue to feel the loss of Andy on campus, and especially in the POP program. It's such a close-knit family and a tight group of students, and it was really difficult on everyone involved there. So I want to thank his family for taking the time to attend today.
Do they want to say any few words? ¿No quieren decir unas palabras por su hijo? Este es un momento si quieren. Por favor, vaya al micrófono. Muchas gracias. Yo sé que es difícil, pero les queremos dar la oportunidad.
Buenas tardes a todos. Primeramente, le quiero dar gracias a Dios por permitirme estar acá presente y agradecer también, pues, a todos ustedes, ¿verdad? Pues, y estamos aquí por nuestro hijo. Él estudió esta escuela, pero ya no pudo venir aquí para recoger su diploma, porque él fue un muchacho que le echó ganas con todo y logró lo que él quería. Quería ser un policía, quería ser un paramédico para ayudar a todas las personas, pero creo que él cumplió. Pero ya no está con nosotros y yo quiero agradecer a todos ustedes por todo, ¿verdad? Porque pues él siempre buscó la forma de cómo estudiar y todo eso. Y le quiero, pues, dar gracias por todo. Y muchas gracias a todos ustedes por permitirnos estar acá presente. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes.
So, first of all, I'm going to do my very best to translate. Voy a tratar de traducir. First of all, I wanted to thank everyone who's here today, and talked a little bit about his son. Son worked very hard to complete his degree. He wanted to be a paramedic. And of course, due to the tragic accident, he's not with us anymore, but very grateful for the work that his son did. Very hardworking individual. And of course, again, due to the tragedy, he's no longer with us. But again, thanking the public, thanking the board, thanking everyone for being here. Muchas gracias. Sé que esto es muy difícil para ustedes. Tenemos todo el apoyo de una familia aquí del distrito, de nuestra mesa directiva, de los presidentes. Yo como canciller, estamos con ustedes, tenemos oraciones, a que Dios los siga bendiciendo y sigan adelante. Su hijo va a ser siempre parte de nuestra familia aquí en este distrito y echarle mucha fuerza y seguir adelante. Yo sé que su hijo ya está en otro lugar mejor. Así que les agradecemos por venir ahora. Yo sé que esto fue muy difícil, pero en el honor de su hijo le vamos a otorgar los certificados que él estaba trabajando para poder lograr. Muchas gracias por estar aquí en parte de todo el distrito de Los Ángeles Community College District. Se les agradece. Muchas gracias.
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 May we ¿Se podían esperar?
One moment. Oh, hold on, please.
Un momento, algo más. Si pueden venir, por favor, para adelante.
Before I go, is there anyone that would like to go? Please, would like to go. If not, I'll go. Okay. No lo voy a traducir. Acepten nuestro pésame como individuos y mesa directiva. Algunos en la mesa han tenido pérdidas como los de ustedes. No es fácil. y no hay palabras. Pero viniendo aquí, sé que esa energía es importante para ustedes porque los años adelante, la memoria de él y las palabras de las personas que hablaron de él van a ser muy importantes. Sí entendemos la pérdida y nadie lo va a reemplazar, pero si podemos, aunque sea estar aquí en este momento para darles energía, es nuestra obligación y, y muchas gracias simplemente por estar presente y gracias.
Gracias. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the regular board meeting and closed session. May I have a motion and second to approve the minutes for the regular board meeting and closed session of June 3rd, 2026?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Eno. I'll provide the second. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Campos advisory vote,
Yes.
trustee Bona, trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
trustee Eno,
Yes.
trustee Vella,
Yes.
trustee Veras.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move on to reports from representatives of employee organizations. Do any members of the resource table wish to be recognized at this time? Make some comments before the board. Okay. Yes.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Angela Echeverry. And first of all, that was just very moving, very touching. So sad to lose a student like that. So my condolences for their family. The next year ahead, the District Academic Senate is going to be focusing on a few priorities. And those top two priorities are disability and ADA compliance and accessibility, as well as AI literacy and innovation. So I want to express my support for today's resolution on Disability Pride Month, National Disability Employment, and International Day of Persons with Disabilities. As your resolution mentions, 1 in 4 people have some sort of disability. And the challenges for us as faculty is that many times those disabilities are not evident or easily identified. So they could include things like dyslexia and dyscalculia and auditory processing disorder, attention deficit, autism spectrum disorders, PTSD, long COVID, and others. And many of these students may not even know that they have a disability. And therefore, they're commonly not even registered with disabled students and programs and services, but it impacts their learning. Therefore, this really underscores the importance of making our content accessible and providing professional development to faculty in the area of accessibility. Now, in April of this year, there was a deadline, a federal deadline, to make sure that all of our digital content was accessible. We got a reprieve, a 1-year reprieve. That deadline has been moved to April of 2027. But I really encourage us to continue supporting the work that we were doing in the area of professional development. And I want to give a special shout out to one of our Senate presidents, Ashley Sparks Jamal, who has made a canvas shell for accessibility. She's having office hours for faculty, workshops, because even though faculty are content experts, we are not trained in accessibility. So I think it's really important to keep supporting this work and professional development for faculty because it ties into the Chancellor's Initiative, the One District, One Vision, student success. We are, so that I just want to really thank you for that resolution and point out that we need to continue that work because we do have a reprieve, but that deadline will come very quickly. We are in the area of AI. We are currently reviewing mini grants for AI innovation. And so we have some really interesting proposals from faculty. So we're really excited to see what happens and how those play out. We are planning an AI summit in September, on September 25th of next year. And then next month, actually later this month, we'll have the Curriculum Institute, July 15th through 18th. And again, I think it's really important for us to support curricular innovation. So again, thank you for the resolution on Disability Month, and I hope we can continue to support this important work for faculty. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. I also want to applaud you all for recognizing National Disability Month. As the father of a special needs, grandfather of a special needs grandson, I really do appreciate the effort. And hopefully one day, because he'll be graduating from high school in a couple of years, he'll be coming to the LACCD. This weekend, we're going to be celebrating the birth of our nation and the promise of an America that has not yet been realized by far too many people, but we the people are trying, and we keep moving forward. And I see our community college system as part of that promise and part of that attempt to really live up to those values of creating a country that's more equitable to all. And I just want to say that last graduation, I participated, as I do every single year, out there in the heat at Los Angeles Pierce College, feeling like many of my fellow faculty that we may pass out at any minute, even though it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. But it's my favorite time of year. And something I share with people is I like my students' graduations more than I like my kids' graduations. My kids know this. It's not because I don't love my kids, I adore them. But when I go to my kids' graduation, I have to listen to 1,000 names being called just so I can hear the one name I truly care about, you know? And then I cheer for them and I wish it was over so I could go home. But when I go to my students' graduations, I get to see numerous students who are finished and completed. And it truly is an amazing moment. And at the end at Pierce, we line up and the students go out and they'll stop and they'll talk to you. And I had two young men who came to talk to me at the end of that graduation, because I still teach one class a semester. One was a Latino gentleman who was about 30 something years old. And he said that he said I had changed his life and he had changed his major to sociology, and he really appreciated me talking to him and working with him. And the other one was an African-American gentleman who was late 50s. And he also switched to a sociology major and thanked me for things as well. This is kind of like the beauty of what we do when you really think about it, right? It's not just about the average 18-year-old who comes straight out of college, who's out about high school and they're in a middle-class background, and they have this straight trajectory through life that they have planned. It's about all these other people who have these bumps in the road, right? And we're there for them to help them through those bumps in the road. Because see, our students are truly special. I mean, they absolutely are. They're the hardest working students in any college system. I mean, many of them work part-time or full-time to help support themselves and their families. Many of them have to pick up obligations, not for their own kids necessarily, but for their siblings when their siblings are sick at school and so on. And many of them are one good excuse from never coming back again. And we're supposed to be there to make sure that we help them get through that excuse. And I really like the Chancellor's new initiative. I'm going to keep saying it because it's something I would truly believe in, is that we need to work on those retention rates. We need to keep these students coming back, because they're pointing out that in the fall, we'll be hitting an enrollment cliff. It'll be the beginning of our enrollment cliff to hit K through 12 already. And the only way to keep from shrinking instead of growing is retention. Right? So retention is going to be crucial and important. Everyone in this room, everyone who's listening, everyone who works for the LACCD, no matter in what position, is part of that initiative, is part of that retention. And it's the biggest, most important thing we could do for our students in our communities to ensure that we have 9 beautiful community college physical campuses throughout our district that will stay there for our students and be a beacon of hope for future graduating classes. So thank you.
Thank you. We have Hello.
I'm gonna keep it short and simple. We're all looking for that weekend. I'm so ready. But good afternoon, Board President, and the trustees, Andrea Edwards, the AFT 1521A College Staff Guild President. Absolutely to the resolution. I'm a social worker at heart. And so it is really important for us to support these resolutions, but thank you for the Gender Equity Task Force that's looking at how do we protect our employees that might have disabilities that are absolutely sometimes not visible. I think we have to realize neurodivergency runs on a spectrum. And when we look at how we hire, we have to also be very much understanding that neurodivergency looks sometimes very blunt. As a mother of a person who's neurodivergent, it could be as like brutal as, oh, I didn't like that food, but I hope you're okay with that. And so those comments sometimes that we're not comfortable receiving because we say it's not socially kosher, you have to be aware that people look and view the world very differently. So thank you for this resolution and what that looks like in application. And I see the hard work that you guys are doing to make sure that it's a balance and it's equitable for all to be their diverse selves. Also would like to say thank you. I enjoyed the chancellor's vision and the speech that I was able to come and attend here at the district office, because it looks at us as a collective whole. We're all employed to do one mission, and that's for students. Oftentimes we look at it in our lens as classified as faculty, as Local 99. We all look at it in variations, but there's one collective whole that is for the students. And in saying that, I'm looking at the accountability, how this metric of unifying us to make sure that retention is a big factor, and how does that look for each one of us, and that's a collective effort. I would like to speak to classified staffing ratios, also really looking at how do we balance that in application? How do we standardize where if one person at one campus is hiring something completely different, what does it look like when all bargaining units sit down and really have that conversation? Because we're all turning around saying, well, what about us? But what about our students? How does this look for the whole? And so I would just leave it with that. Thank you so much. I see where we're heading. I see the work. I see the air of accountability, and I see the hard work you guys are doing and classified as in support and watching. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
President Hernandez, just briefly, I just want to thank in particular Classified for your patience and for your contributions. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Do we have anyone else? Okay. We're going to do reports from the board. Trustee Veras, can you summarize the proceedings for the Facilities Master Planning and Oversight Committee you chaired on June 17th?
Can you give me 1 second while I look it up here?
Do we have someone else?
Yes, please.
Okay, Trustee Eno. Please.
Yes.
IESS.
So I don't want to do any spoilers because I know the chancellor is presenting today. But all I'd like to say is that the chancellor presented his LA One District, One Vision Student Success to us. And I can just tell you that it's extremely thoughtful, very meaningful, collaborative. And as a board member, I'm really excited to see the outcomes and what happens next. So that's it.
Great. Thank you. Trustee Vella. Do you want to summarize or do you want to? Yeah. Trustee Veras, are you ready? No? Okay. Trustee.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
It's just
I
loading
could do
here.
the Gender Equity Task
Yeah.
Force. So the Budget and Finance Committee did not meet in June, but I did hold a Gender Equity Task Force meeting on June 15th. We had our meeting in person on the 6th floor of this building. And we were very lucky to have Maureen Holland from Cozen O'Connor and present on the Cozen O'Connor report. We got updates on federal and state legislation as it relates to Title IX, and we are going to invite her back to continue on with her presentation because we didn't get through everything. We had so many questions and it was a really great working meeting, and she will be back on July 13th for another meeting of the Gender Equity Task Force, again in person. I also want to report out that Deputy Chancellor Nicole Abel-Lopez shared updates regarding our search for a new tracking program to replace Guardian. Guardian's a program we're using now. Another one was identified and it's called Maxient. And I don't know if you've reached out to them already, but Maxient is going to also come to our next Gender Equity Task Force meeting to give us a demo and sort of let us see what the program can do. And that is my report, Madam Chair.
Great. Thank you so much. Trustee Veras, do you want to
Sure, thank you.
summarize FIMPOC for us?
Beyond the informational items of Measure LA projects and active construction and design projects, we had a presentation and from LA Southwest College on the naming of the student union Cougar Den. And it was proposed to be consistent with the Cougar pathway, walkway, a number of the features that are associated around bringing students to the main core of new facilities and building spaces that are there. So that was approved by the committee. Next, we had a presentation on the LA Mission College Bioscience Laboratory Schematic Design. And for those to remember, this was a project brought to us by an earmark from, I guess it was back then, Assembly Member Luz Rivas from the state of California. So we were able to do something that is akin to an addition to our math science complex, but a freestanding building. And so really wonderful bioscience space that we'll get a chance to do bachelor's degrees and other kinds of things in the space. And so that was also recommended for approval as presented there. There will be a follow-up to that in terms of naming. I think they wanted to recognize the current Congress member for being able to prioritize this in funding for us at the state level. We also had a student housing update and a discussion, very brief discussion, but a discussion nonetheless on the foster conference, the foster youth conference that recently took place. And also to note that there are all additional real property negotiations beginning for other areas attached to the student housing.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Vella, do you want to summarize the proceedings from the Legislative and Public Affairs Committee?
Yeah. So lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. You know, I'm sure everybody's aware of all of the interesting national news, and so we're lucky enough to have been and are represented in Washington, D.C. By one of our advocates, fierce advocates. I can report that we are in a great position to advance several earmarks for our colleges, which, you know, as much as possible within that storm, we are still advocating for our students, working with our legislators. We mentioned Congresswoman Luz Rivas and others who are, chaperoning in millions of dollars into the district, but still with very, I would say dynamic conversations back to Congress in regards to the safety of our students, both at the immigrant level as well as our trans students, which right now, as you all know, a lot of these students feel like if they're not safe. So at the state level of significance, I mean, again, we have community projects that we've brought up to our legislators. The good news is that Prop 98 is completely and utterly funded. So congratulations, everyone. As Trustee Hoffman mentioned, we were able to pass the state budget, with very, very, I believe, strong conversations from our advocates and especially our bargaining units here at the district who are always championing that our students have the best possible outcome. And that is reflected in the state budget with several categories expanding in our budget. And we're very, very happy and proud that we were able to garner this type of support. You're going to see growth in our equity. You're going to see growth with our Dream Resource Centers. You're going to see growth in basic needs. You're going to see growth, obviously for me, it's very happy to see that the legislature approved $30 million for statewide Pride Centers, which is fantastic. Yes, that's a good thing. I think that, our efforts are paying off in regards to, baccalaureate degrees. We're still championing that in order to provide our students, again, workforce opportunity. And so the list goes on and on at the state level. I think we've been doing very, very well. Here locally, I think we also have had very, very, robust conversations with the county in regards to ensuring that our students, again, feel safe, that there's housing opportunities. We're very lucky that, we've been moving forward with these relationships with the city and other cities we serve as well. Have very, very good relationships with them as well. And we're teaming up on various projects. So all in all, even though it does seem outdoors and outside, like it does seem pretty dire sometimes, I can tell you the silver linings are the fact that, you know, this community, in particular our students, have really shed a light on how important it is that regardless of how the political environment is, that we continue to prioritize our students. And I think that all of the various levels of government are reflecting that. And so I want to continue that momentum, and I want to thank my colleagues and the chancellor and his team and all of you. And a special shout out, I know you guys don't get it all the time, but our bargaining units for your advocacy in Sacramento in particular, right? Because that is such a strong force. But also, again, you know, just seeing our college presidents step up too when it comes to testifying. You have Matt right now testifying up north for creating West LA College's official climate center that the state will recognize. Yeah, so yeah, round of applause for that. It's lots of stuff. Yes.
Can I just make a comment? I also want to say congratulations to Pierce College, RF, for getting a $5 million carve out from the state budget for Family Resource Center. So really excited to see the project, and that's just a testament to everyone's hard work and our relationship with our legislators. And you know, I want to thank the governor and the budget chair for really coming through for community colleges. I think next year will be a good one. So thank you.
Great.
Yeah, and I want to echo that in the sense that what we're witnessing in the Legislative and Public Affairs Committee is that we're witnessing that California in particular is resilient. Like, you know, we're weathering the storm. We don't look down upon, you know, our government jobs. They're very critical, from law enforcement all the way to, you know, our state workers, our faculty, our staff. We have to, you know, in my opinion, continue to create that narrative that we are stronger together, because that's sending messages back to the federal administration that we are strong as Californians. And so I just want to, I know it's a little bit kind of, you know, could seem a little bit kind of dramatic, but it's helping our ability to garner these funds. So yeah, thank you all.
Okay, we're going to move on to board travel authorizations. Can I have a motion in a second for item F2?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Eno. I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Student trustee Campos advisory vote,
Yes.
trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
sorry, trustee Buona,
Yes.
trustee Eno,
Yes.
trustee Vella,
Yes.
trustee Veras.
Yes.
Great. We're going to move on to resolutions in recognition of Disability Pride Month, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and International Day of Persons with Disabilities. May I have a motion and a second on item G1?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Eno,
Second.
second by trustee Hoffman. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Student trustee Campos advisory vote,
Yes.
trustee Buona,
Yes.
trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
trustee Hoffman, trustee Eno,
Yes.
trustee Vella,
Yes.
trustee Veras.
Yes.
Okay, we will now turn to Chancellor Roman for his report.
Thank you so much again, President Hernandez. I'm going to show you a quick video first and foremost. Just wrapping up the affinity celebrations, and I want to give a shout out to Dr. Smith, Regina Smith, who has retired on June 30th. Oh, there she is. Thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for all the work you've done over the years, in particular leading these efforts for affinity groups. And of course, mi gente, we have co-chairs Angelita Rovero and Jocelyn Duarte, and the entire committee for our Black grad, Dr. again, Regina Smith and Dr. Dion Washington, and the entire committee, of course. Lavender Nagarero, who's stepped up and has continued to do amazing work with the support of course, Trustee Vella and I. In APITA, we have Allison Tamura and of course, Cheryl Alay and the committee. So thank you to all of you for continuing to believe that we value and respect culture and identity of our students, the diversity that this beautiful district has. We elevate it and we empower our students to feel that they can in fact be very proud of their culture and their identity as students of color and students of various multiple cultures. So with that, we're going to play a video, a short video, and we'll get going. Thank you. All right. So trustees, I'm gonna actually present from this side, my vision today, because you didn't get the benefit of having the presentation in front of you. So I'm gonna take the privilege, if I can, to actually look your way and present the One District, One Vision Student Success Initiative. Again, I wanna thank all of you for your leadership. I have the honor of working with you directly now for about 18 months or so. And it's been a privilege really for me to be able to work with you. Why? Because you are a board that really exemplifies what it's like to live and breathe diversity, equity, and inclusion in an institution that I believe is the best in the nation of exemplifying how we can best serve our students. So thank you so much for everything that you do to support our students, both individually and collectively. I'm gonna take you back just real quick to March of 2020. Who remembers what happened in March of 2020? Shutdown. It was probably one of the toughest times in human history, particularly for us. I remember this board asked me in July of 2020 to go and serve as interim president of ELAC. Some of you are here, remember that? And I said yes. And at the time, everybody had gone home. Our faculty had worked very hard to get all of our courses online, and along with the support of our teams, our administrators, our staff were working remotely. But as presidents, we were actually coming in to our campuses to be there present. And I remember those of you who have been in the ELAC office, I know President Perez knows it very well, big office, the Ernie Moreno office with the windows. I'm sitting there and I'm looking out the window and I'm there by myself. And I thought, oh my goodness, what did I just do? My first week there. And so I'm sitting there, and in the first week, I hear a knock on the door. I thought, who could be here? Everybody's home. We're not supposed to be here. We're supposed to be 6 feet away. So I go to the door and I open it, and it's a student who had come on campus because that student did not have internet at home to take his courses. And he begged me to stay there so he could take his courses. It broke my heart that I had to send him home. I said, there's a Starbucks across the street. I don't know if they're open. But the next day, we got him a hotspot. We got him internet access. We got him set up to take his online courses. But what that did, trustees and colleagues, is showed us how deep the digital divide really was. For what we take as something as simple as having internet at home, some students, it's a privilege for them to be able to have internet at home. And it really highlighted the basic needs that are prevalent and continue to be prevalent for our students. Not everybody has a studying space or room at home. Many of our students share their space with siblings, 2, 3 in one room. Not everybody has internet at home. Not everybody can have 2 to 3 meals a day. Not everybody has a roof over their head after they leave school. This team right here, my presidents, our faculty, our staff, our executive team, worked very hard, incredibly hard during the pandemic to restore enrollment. That was the #1 priority, get our students back. And despite the fact that many of them themselves were dealing with tough personal issues, health-related issues for some, for their families, other issues. I myself lost 2 uncles and my father to COVID. We all went through some difficult times. But despite that, we kept our eye on our students and we never relented, giving them the support they needed to get through. And for that, I want to give our colleagues here and all of you a big round of applause. We have recovered the majority of our enrollment. That has been our focus, enrollment recovery. And I'm very proud of the work that's taking place. Andrea Edwards said it best, the work of the classified teams working online now back on campus, the work of our faculty to ensure that our students remain engaged in the work of our administrative teams and leadership across the board. So we spend a significant amount of time on enrollment. In the last, I would say not only 3 years, 5 years, we have recovered most, we're not there yet, but most of our enrollment. So here's where my vision comes in. So we got our students back. But are they completing? Are they transferring? Are they persisting? Are we closing the equity gaps? That is the question. And I would say in part, no. If we are losing 40% of our students after a year, fall to fall, we have significant work to do ahead. To me, one student is one student too many. And I, as a chancellor, cannot be good with myself if we have students coming and leaving us and not completing. So the vision that we are embarking upon focuses now on the completion and transfer of our students. It was well said by Dr. McKeever. If we fix our persistence and retention issue, we fix our enrollment issue. That's simple. We put so much energy on bringing in our students, but we need to do more to make sure that they persist, they follow through, and they graduate, to get to the finish line. That's what the One District, One Vision student success is all about. And I believe it's urgent, and I know you would agree with me, and it's absolutely necessary because of who we serve. Foster youth students who have never had most of their life a stable home. Just as impacted students who I've been reminded, for many, they never had the first chance to be successful. Forget about second chances. Many of them have never had the environment. They didn't grow up in places where they really had an opportunity to go to school. Veterans who are coming back to our communities, immersing themselves, trying to find jobs, trying to go to school. They have served our country. They deserve the opportunity to be successful. Undocumented students who are being told right now they don't belong here. You're not part of our communities. You're not part of our identity. Yet they continue to show up every day in some way to continue with their education. First generation students, you've seen it. Every time we go to the graduations, I know I've been with most of you. When we ask the question, how many of you are the first in your family to go to college? A lot of hands go up. That's for many of us here. We are the first to break that cycle and be the first to graduate from an institution. Working parents. I know this hits home with some of our trustees. Many of us were working parents. Going to work full time, trying to still go to school, trying to still take care of our personal lives. Student parents, many of us were student parents, same thing. And then, of course, housing and food insecurity. When we have 2/3 of our students telling us at some point during their academic journey, they face food insecurity, 2/3, 210,000 students. That is a huge challenge. And of course, thanking the board again for the work that you have put forth in terms of policy on housing. Board President Hernandez, under your leadership this year, we've taken it to the next level. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you to the entire board for believing that if we take care of the most basic fundamental needs of our students will persist, they will graduate. That's who we serve. So decades of focusing on access. There is no institution of higher education that does a better job at opening access for our students. There isn't. LACCD, we take 100% of all graduating seniors from high school and everybody who dares believe to go forward and get a college education. It starts here. But access isn't enough. That's the message of my vision. Because access without completion is an incomplete promise. Access without completion is an incomplete promise. We don't want our students accumulating units. I know it's hard sometimes. We have students that are here 5, 6, 7, 8 years trying to get that degree. The question for the board and for us is, what else can we do to help the student reach that finish line? Let's reverse that mindset of what is the student not doing, but rather what are we not doing to help that student get through? The onus is on us as educators to believe that they have the power and the capability, they just need the support. That's where we come in. So the district-wide focus will ensure that we're not just providing the opportunity on the front door, but rather delivering on meaningful outcomes all the way to the finish line. We've talked a lot about this over the years. What happens when our students don't complete and transfer? Earning potential is reduced. We have seen the chart of what a student in their lifetime earnings makes high school, bachelor's, master's, PhD. 3 times more for a student with a master's degree or a high school diploma. So if we're gonna be serious about breaking cycles of poverty, about empowering communities, about uplifting families like the one that was just here, it starts here, and it starts with students believing that they are in fact college material, and that we have the onus to make sure that on June or whenever we graduate, they're up there on stage waving their degree or diploma. We got to stop blaming our students, and we got to put it on ourselves. It's incumbent upon us to say, what else do we need to do to help our students graduate? Look, I got to do this with all of our 9 campuses, and I want to thank the hospitality of our presidents, our academic senate, our faculty, our staff who showed up, and they said, we're with you, Chancellor, we want to do this together. And I highlighted some of the great work that's happening across all of our 9 campuses. Beautiful, amazing programs, impactful programs. What I'm trying to do here is scale it up. This is the power of 10, and I call it the power of 10 because the district office is the 10 cylinder, by the way. We're going to shift it a little. We've called it the power of 9, and I love it, but let's add the ESC, right? This is the power of 10. This is a really cool car with 10 cylinders all fired up and running at the same time. So my goal here is align our goals and our metrics, share best practices across all of our 9 campuses, leverage the district. I keep reminding my colleagues here, we don't generate FTEs. The colleges do. You agree, colleges? Wow, that was a fast answer. Our goal is to support the wonderful work that you do. That is our job. So as a chancellor, I'm committing to ensuring that you have the leadership and the support that you need to serve our students. That is the mission of the ESC. Scale up those beautiful programs that our faculty and staff have created, whether student support or programs that are directly impacting our students. This is our moment. We've recovered a lot of our enrollment. There's heightened conversations happening at the national level about equity. And by the way, LACCD continues to believe in equity because that's part of the fabric of this beautiful institution. Economic workforce, my goodness, we're talking about healthcare. We're talking about construction management, AI, IT. All of those areas, our employers are telling us, get us students to graduate in these areas, we have jobs for them. So we have to be nimble and responsive, and I know we're doing that across the board. Next month, you're gonna see a presentation from the LA Chamber of Commerce, Maria Salinas coming to us with the paradigm shift, where 4 of our colleges have signed up in 3 areas, CNA, radio technology, and EMT. And we have 5 healthcare institutions that have told us, you graduate them, we give them jobs. So they'll be here next month. So again, unifying our vision, colleagues, a shared language of student success. What does it mean to us? It means that students are completing, they're transferring, we're closing equity gaps. I'm not comfortable with seeing the data that shows Black and brown male students in particular are left far behind. That's something that all of us need to work on together. That is an equity gap that's not okay for us. And it's okay to call it out. It's not about blaming people. It's not about looking at data and saying, oh, somebody didn't do their job. It's about here's where we are. We have some work to do. Let's go forward. Let's do it together. And we've asked the rhetorical question, but it's here. It aligns around the central question of are students completing, transferring, persisting, and are all of them succeeding equitably? My answer is no. Thank you, Trustee Eno. We got some work to do. This initiative is about transforming our district from a system that measures enrollment, which we do very well. Where's EPI, by the way? Any EPI folks here? You're here today, Deputy Chancellor Lopez. We know what the data says, but now let's move towards measures from enrollment to a system that guarantees outcomes, transfers, completion, retention, and that is the vision. So yes, faculty are front and center, and so are classified staff. I know some of you have taught for LACCD, and I think to me that's been one of the most rewarding things I've done. I was teaching poli-sci at ELAC with Mr. Hernandez, who would give me that late class on Friday or Thursday. It was at 6:50 to 10. For some reason, that was the only one that was open, by the way. Is that the one you got, Trustee Vela? Okay. Oh, see, okay. It's like, I have this class that's available. Really? What time? 6:50 to 10 on a Thursday or Friday. I said, I'll take it. One of my classes, I had a student who was really struggling. Bright student, bright student. He would be the one that would stay after class, and I'm like, okay, I'll be talking to him for a while. Sometimes till 11, sometimes at midnight, I'd walk him home. Troubled student. He was in a very bad neighborhood. Drive-bys he had mentioned to me. He said, I can't concentrate, Professor Rahman. I need to focus on my family. I'm afraid for the safety of my parents, for my safety. I need to go do this. I said, no. The best thing you can do is stay in school. The best way you can honor your parents is finish your classes. Go on. When you have a job, maybe you can move from that neighborhood. I didn't see him for the next 2 weeks, by the way. And I got worried. I called him. I emailed him, no response. I said, man, I lost him. He came back 2 weeks later. And I was so happy to see him. And he stuck through the semester. He graduated, he did graduate, but he completed his class with the B minus. After that, I emailed him, wanted to track him. I couldn't find him. Last year, when I was at the Women's Expo at ELAC, I see now this older person coming my way. Professor Rahman, is that you? I said, oh my goodness, yes, it was my former student. And I said, how are you doing? It's good to see you. He said, it's good to see you. I said, let me tell you, graduated, got my AA degree, went on to get my bachelor's, and I got my MBA, and I now have my own business. I own my own business. He said, your words, your encouragement kept me going. And I just want to thank you for that because, quite frankly, I was on the verge of never returning. How does this relate to faculty? It has everything to do with faculty. Our faculty have the power, that power to influence our students positively. It's beyond teaching for them. You see our amazing faculty across the district? They're providing mentorship, support, referrals, staying with our students, staying connected. I was talking to Dr. McKeever earlier about some stories of him being connected with students still. We'll keep them up on, I'm getting my master's, I'm getting my bachelor's. Our faculty spend up to 16 weeks with our students. There is no other position, by the way, that spends that much time. So imagine the power of influence and impact that our faculty have. I want to talk about persistence and retention. It starts with our faculty and the power that they have to connect with our students and keep them in the classroom. So I want to commend the team, our Senate President Echeverry, Vice President Hernandez. I've met with them several times. They're all over this vision. They said, Chancellor Rahman, let's do this together. Thank you so much for that, by the way. I appreciate you. But we need our classified folks, Ms. Edwards. We need our classified professionals. And I have told people, and I'm going to continue to say this, doesn't matter what your title is. If you work for LACCD, you're an educator. You're an educator, from custodians, groundskeepers, presidents, doesn't matter. You know, my mother taught me early on, titles don't matter, it's your impact. Heroes and sheroes don't all wear capes. The people behind the scenes, the unsung heroes that we have, the unsung sheroes, are classified professionals. When I entered, thank you, Trustee Wallen. When I entered my first year as a freshman in college, I was 17 years old and I was a father of a 3-month baby. I was working at Payless Shoe Stores 40 hours a week. Do you remember Payless Shoe Stores? It's gone, by the way. And I worked at Fedco. I don't know if they have any out here, but 40 hours a week, full-time school. I had a family, I had a baby. And I was that student of mine, ready to drop out. I would go through this particular pathway. There was a groundskeeper there that I would say hi to. Got to know him very well. Spoke in his native language. Amazing guy. He raised 3 kids on his groundskeeper salary. Was just proud to see someone like me there, because at the time, this is in the 90s, there weren't too many people who looked like me on that campus. You know, it was hard. I'd get home at 10, try to read, try to prepare for exams. I was not cutting it. So I came to him on the one day, said, you're probably not gonna see me anymore. I have to drop out. I have to take care of my family. Spent, again, a good hour and a half with me, telling me all the reasons why I couldn't do this. This is a person I just met, you know, a few months back. And he said, look, you have a family, do it for your son. Do it for your parents. At the time, I thought of my mother, and when we came to the States, I was 8. And she said to me, don't let all of our efforts of leaving a country that we came from, leaving everything behind, don't let that go in vain. You need to pursue an education. So I thought of her words, I thought of the employee, the groundskeeper, and I came back. And it was because of him and his encouragement that I finished that semester and continued on. I went back 2 years ago just to thank him, because he was very instrumental in getting me to continue. And he had passed away. They told me he had passed away 2 years before. So I never really had a chance to tell him what an impact he had on my educational journey. Classified staff person, a groundskeeper. Maya Angelou once said, you know, people may not remember what you say, what you do, but they'll remember how you made them feel. First impressions are classified. Always meeting with our students, making them feel welcome, encouraging them to continue with their education, just like that groundskeeper did to me. So classified professionals, Chris was on 99, we need you guys. You guys are fundamental to my vision, and you are front and center. Thank you for everything that you do. So we're gonna do some alignment, translating district vision into campus level actions, aligning our budgets. People tell me, show me what your budget looks like, I'll tell you where your priorities are. I'll tell you, for us, our priorities are student center, coordinating academic and student support services, ensuring consistent messaging and measurable outcomes. I'm starting to hear the one vision, student success more and more. And we're gonna monitor progress, again, to see where we are, not to point fingers. Retention, completion, and transfer does not improve by chance. It improves when our leaders, our vice presidents, our presidents, our deans, who are fundamental to this, intentionally organize our people. They bring us together. We create policies that make sense, and we give and allocate resources around these outcomes. So our leadership team, in my opinion, are equally important to our initiative. I'm almost done here, but I want to sort of close out with just a couple more things I've experienced over the years. Again, I had the privilege of serving as president of East LA College. I remember my first or second year, a student landing at ELAC, the formerly incarcerated student, justice impacted student, was facing at some point probably the rest of his life in prison. Fortunately, he was able to get out, came to ELAC, and was adopted by our Rising Scholars Program. Classified staff member who's amazing there. He also had a faculty who really took interest in him. and adopted him as a mentor. This individual's bright, but again, he said, I was never going to make it. I grew up in a rough place. You know, family and everybody that was around just they didn't have the environment conducive to making it. This individual went on to graduate from ELAC and transfer to Cal, UC Berkeley, within 2 years. But wait, it doesn't end there. I stayed in touch with him. And I just found out recently that he received his PhD from Cal. How about that? A person who a few years back was likely not going to see the light of day again. Talk about the transformative power of education, of community colleges, of people who believe in giving every person an opportunity. We don't judge, we embrace, we accept, we adopt, and we help our most vulnerable populations. And lastly, a student, a mother of 3 kids, in a domestic violence relationship comes to us, bruised, broke my heart, ready to drop out with 2 classes left to graduate. Again, our classified team in student services met with her, kept her in the program, helped her to get resources and referrals. She moved out of that situation, went to live with her mother temporarily with her 3 kids. We followed up, we kept her there. She graduated from the institution. I kept in touch with her, only to learn recently that she's finishing up a teaching credential program at an institution, and she'll be teaching in the fall. It started with one of our 9 colleges. It started with somebody believing in her. It started with somebody saying, you are worthy. We welcome you, and we're gonna help you. So when we all go to the graduations, to Dr. McKeever's point, these are more meaningful to me because they embody students who beat odds, students who are not supposed to be up on that stage, students who faced incarceration, deportation, fear if you're a trans student, students who, if they make it, it is likely that their family trajectory will change. Students who are sleeping in cars, students who don't get 2 to 3 meals a day, and yet they make it. Despite the barriers, these are not traditional students, trustees and colleagues. That's not who we serve. We proudly serve the most vulnerable students in Los Angeles. So when you see them up on stage, proudly waving their degree to their families who are full of joy to see them up there, despite everything that they faced, they're up there and they made it. I have to tell you as an educator, there is no greater reward to me than to see that happen. And I hope you share that same feeling. The feeling of joy, the feeling of accomplishment for our students who deserve it. So, what's next? We've done our town halls. We did the ESC. Thank you, Trustee Eno, for being with us. We did canvas boards for every one of the colleges and town halls. And we've asked our faculty and staff and administrators to give us input. We are not going to work with the Senate. We're going to engage our labor partners. And we're going to begin seminars and trainings on identifying what will likely be our strategies going forward. But we're going to do it together. We're going to do this as one district, one vision around student success. So with that, thank you so much for indulging me. Thank you for the opportunity to present. I would say this is a very condensed version of the presentation in the interest of time, but I want to thank the board again for everything that you do in providing leadership for this beautiful district. Thank you so much. That concludes my report.
Very informative. Thank you, Chancellor. Do we have?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Any discussion from my fellow colleagues?
Thank you, Chancellor. I really, really appreciate and thank you, President Hernandez, for allowing me to speak. I really see this through a very a lens that really lends itself to really looking at who we are. I've always known that you are and you come from the same cloth as our students, and when we have the honor, really, truly, to have a voice in who we hire as the leader of this enormous and complex and sometimes very beautiful district that tends to, set the stage nationally and internationally. I know I, as a trustee, really look at the person, but also how many people are within you, and how you could potentially represent our current students. That's very, very important. And so what I see from this is that you understand the place where our students are right now in their life, whether it's personal or academic, and you're meeting them where they're at. I really find that the fact that you are proudly saying we're one district, one vision, means that we all have to buy in on it and creating this elected body. Because I can tell you that, when I was a kid, I really did see. I remember, I'm sure you guys know X-Men, the cartoon, and the comic book. But it was really not, each individual power was extremely unique, and I was just like, what is this guy going to do with just freezing water, And then that the other X-Men, and so on and so forth had different powers. Same with, I'm going back, nostalgia here, but same with Voltron, if you followed those cartoons, and they all had a special power, but that's how our colleges really, truly are. We forget sometimes, because we're just in the business of delivering services, that altogether we are an unbeatable force of education delivering to our constituents. And so I really want to, this is really important for me to say, is that I truly value each college's uniqueness and ability to serve the communities that they serve. However, I really believe in the power of coming together for the better purpose of serving all our students. Seriously, we really do need to do that more, because we are more powerful together. We really are. And so again, I think this is in line with that philosophy, and completely endorse, Chancellor, your vision. And I want to, excited to see it. And I think, we will be able to support you in your leadership and in this vision. So thank you again for this. Very, 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 very insightful.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yes, Trustee.
So thank you, Chancellor, for that presentation. And I just want to say, Trustee Vella, you might have grown up with, what did you say, X-Men?
It was X-Men and Voltron, yeah,
All right, so I grew up with Gilligan's Island. I watch Gilligan's Island every day. And I think what you reminded us today is that our colleges are not single out there on a deserted island, that we are all part of one district, one vision. You did give me a little bit of PTSD in the beginning when you started talking about COVID, because you and I worked very closely together. And I just want to say that was a testament to your compassion and your humanness when you were Vice Chancellor of HR and I was board president. And we really were trying to figure out, like, what do we do with vulnerable employees that were called back to work? What do we do about students? You were really very responsive, and I truly appreciate that, because it was a very difficult time to navigate. So thank you for the presentation.
Great. Trustee Veras.
I don't know if I watched as much TV as my colleagues here as a little kid, but But Chancellor, you know, I appreciate the fact that you took this to the campuses, and it's really important. And one of the things I do miss post-COVID is the fact that we've sort of been tied here. And not to say that this is important. We see downtown's reality every day when we're here. But to me, there's something important about the one district, one vision concept. And it's this continual effort to align ourselves with the needs of our community. And I think we're two things. I think we're both physical spaces. My first interactions with the community colleges were learning to swim in a pool at ELAC and having my mother take her first class at the ELAC extension in Huntington Park on Seville, you know, really long time ago. And those are incredible connections. And but the physical spaces, we've done a lot to transform them. And sometimes they're the bridge into the neighborhood. None of our schools are like ivory towers. They're not sitting on the top of a perched hill. They're in our neighborhoods, which is amazing. I mean, Trey Tech and Southwest College and Valley, you roll across the street into regular people's homes, and that's incredible. But I think you hit it right on the head here to talk about it's aspirational space too, and it's a place where you can believe. But I think our task, and I love hearing you say it, is that we're continuing to align with the needs of our community. And so community colleges, they're about community, and you get that right on the head. And so I'm really excited to know that everybody has a role in this vision and this effort, and there's lots of work to do. So thank you for this, and I appreciate your efforts to get out there and align us and connect us all together. So.
Great. Trustee Wellnut.
Yes, thank you. So the concept from, I was going to make some analogy with F Troop for those who remember from F Troop, but I won't. The shift from the concept of enrollment to student success, it's a pendulum swing, and it's again a shift of our to a certain extent our doctrine as a community college, and you're meeting the moment specifically, in that because of everything that's happening with immigration, because of everything that's happening with birth rates, because of everything that's happening, we must realign. Must, shall. It's not an option. And what I'm encouraged on with is that in your short tenure, you've so concentrated us in moving to the specific student success component. You have protected LACCD in its future because we are making every enrollment, I don't know this exact number, I'm going to say probably count for 2.5 of what used to be for just enrollment, because our focus is holding students. And what I appreciate just in the support of all the presidents and all the staff is everyone understanding that the component of student success, one that should have always been central anyway, but it's kind of realigning, and I think that we have made that shift, and I appreciate it because I don't believe other colleges have made that shift. So and as we're moving forward, not only with student housing, with our diversity initiatives, within language, is that I have a feeling within about a year or two, folks are going to be coming to us with regard to training on helping them realign their enrollment, because we need all of our community colleges to be successful, not just our 9 plus our hub. So I want to thank you for that, for the presentation that should help all in our entire district just understand the realignment that has already occurred and to make sure it's sustainable. Thank you.
I'll make a brief comment too. I just want to acknowledge all of my colleagues' comments. They're wonderful. And I briefly before in my report was just expressing my gratitude for the thoughtfulness and the meaningfulness and the collaboration and how I'm excited for the future. I think also it speaks to your leadership, Chancellor, to hear the comments by my board colleagues today and know that, collectively, we're all extremely excited to get behind this. And we're really looking forward to the next steps, the findings that you find, and just find additional ways that we can support the process. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And just echo everything that all my other colleagues have said already, but I just wanted to really commend you for embodying the spirit of the district and, the storytelling that you did through that presentation. That's, a lot of times we spend a lot of time here in the district office on this dais. We really don't have the privilege of being out in a classroom as much with students. And so I just really commend you for being able to bring that experience here into the boardroom because we need to be reminded of that as trustees. So.
I'll make one final comment.
Yeah.
I might probably forget to say this. As part of our input process, we are going to work with our student trustee, some of the interns of AFT, and we're going to have a focus group in the fall that will actually ask our students what we can do better to support them. And our student trustee will be part of that, as well as all the ASO presidents. So that's coming in the fall. And it'll be a qualitative process where we actually sit with 20 students and have a conversation about support, about academic journeys, about interest, and we'll be happy to report that data back to the board once we have an opportunity to work with you. So looking forward to that as part of the process of the initiative. So thank you again, and that concludes my report, Madam President. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, we're going to move on to combined consent calendar. We have for our review the combined consent calendar of items I-1 through I-82. These items include consent calendars for Human Resources, Personnel Commission, Academic Affairs, and Student Services, Budget and Finance, Business and Facilities. May I have a motion and a second to adopt combined consent calendar?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Eno, second by Trustee Vella. Any items which require any additional information, colleagues? Nope. Okay. Chancellor Ramon, do we have any trustee disclosures to make on consent calendar items?
None.
Okay. May I have roll call, please?
Student trustee Campos advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Buona? Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman? Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vella?
Yes.
Trustee Veras?
Great. Next, we have for our review business items J1 through J13. May I have a motion and a second to adopt business items J1 through J13?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Eno, second by Trustee Vella. Any items which require additional information? Okay. Chancellor Ramon, do we have any trustee disclosures to make on business items?
None on these. Thank you.
Okay. Can I have roll call, please?
Student trustee Campos advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Buona?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vella?
Yes.
Trustee Veras?
Yes.
Good. Okay, moving on to facilities items. We have for our review facility items K1 through K9. Chancellor Ramon, is there anything you'd like to add prior to us approving facilities items?
Nothing to add. I think we do have one abstention in K8. Is that?
Yes, I have I need to exempt myself from the vote for item K8.
Okay. Noted.
So do we need to remove that? Or do
No,
we
just
vote
roll
it?
call and then you.
Okay.
Motion and second.
Okay, can I have a motion? Okay, can I have a motion to adopt facilities items K8?
Second.
Second.
Moved by Buona, second by Trustee Vella. Roll call?
Student trustee Campos advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Buona? Trustee Hernandez accept?
Yes. Exempt.
Or abstain?
Abstain.
Abstain. Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vella?
Yes.
Trustee Veras?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Now you do K1 through 7.
Okay, can I have a motion and second to adopt facilities items K1 through K7 and K9? Moved by Trustee Buona. I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Student trustee Campos advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Buona?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vella?
Yes.
Trustee Veras?
Yes.
Okay, We're going to move on to matters requiring a supermajority vote. This is the emergency resolution of the restoration of water damaged areas of the campus center basement at LABC. May I have a motion and second on item L1?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Eno, seconded by trustee Buona. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Student trustee Campos advisory vote,
Yes.
trustee Buona, trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
trustee Eno,
Yes.
trustee Vella, trustee Veras.
President, and quick question on that item. Did I hear LA Valley College or LA Harbor College?
Valley.
Valley
Valley College, yeah.
And just one final question. I mean, I voted yes. I'm happy I voted. I didn't realize we still have basements. It was at a basement.
The question is it a basement at Valley College for that item?
Trustee Buona, it's the, we have utility tunnels at LA Valley College and those have been flooding.
Okay. All right. Thank you. It just.
Oh.
If I can add to, Campus Center actually does have a basement that runs almost the full length of the building. And the flooding happened in the utility tunnel, just as Dr. Sata said. The flooding followed from the utility tunnel through some large conduit pipes into the campus center, and then filled the campus center with a couple of feet of water, which caused a lot of damage.
Okay. I'm just a silly question. You guys are experts in terms of the restoration, but I've had to deal with basements and flooding and all. Did they fully dry it out? I mean, because then you have foundation issues. I don't need full explanation. I know this was more complex than you're probably telling us, right?
Yes,
Okay.
very complex.
That's it. No more questions. Thank you for allowing me.
Okay. Notice and informatives, board members, there are 2 notices and 1 informative. No action is required this time. We will now be joined by Chief Student Services Officers to provide a special presentation.
Good afternoon, trustees, chancellor. We are here to present a proclamation for Betsy Regalado as our direct support service to not just us, but the district. We acknowledge and want to publicly acknowledge, just all the hard work that she's done for our district and led us and guided us through many support mechanisms and methods to ensure that as a district we operate in one fashion. So with this, we lured her back in with false intentions. But we wanted to have this, and I'm gonna ask for my colleagues to help. Let's be family here.
So I'm already a marked man because she didn't want to be in the building the first day after she retired. So I will take the stage. So as the chancellor mentioned earlier, it takes a lot for us to do what it means to be the power of 10. And when we think of this year, actually is my 10th year in the district, so I identify with that number, but 10 years ago, we were using deck. 10 years ago, we were looking at the ways in which we would use the power of technology to move our districts together. 10 years ago, we were thinking about ways where we would be able to share data to make sure our students weren't falling between the cracks. 10 years ago, we probably only had 1 or 2 female representatives on the Chief Student Services Officers Council. And all of that changed because Betsy Regalado was able to bring in her expertise from West LA, from LACC, come to the ESC and bring us together for our students. When we think of the gains that we've made on behalf of our students, talk about housing, talk about basic needs, talk about PeopleSoft, name something, and Betsy has had a legacy touching one of those items. So on behalf of the Chief Student Services Officers, I know she's crying behind me and she will kill me after this. We just wanted to make sure that we sent her off with a proclamation saying, thank you for the 36 years of service on behalf of the countless students, faculty, classified staff that were able to work alongside her. So thank you very much, Betsy.
Well, thank you so much for this wonderful surprise. I should have known when they asked me to come to the district office today to go to lunch that it was a board meeting and something was up. I should have known. But I really do truly appreciate this. I don't think an individual stays in a place of employment for so many years unless you really believed in the vision and the mission. And as much as I enjoyed the work, I've served in many, many capacities. I think what I will miss most is my colleagues, my friends. And I just will continue to give back, as I meet a young person in a restaurant or, in a store. The first question I ask them is, are you going to school? And if you're not going to school, we need a few minutes, to talk, or I refer them somewhere, or I ask them, well, what's your vision for yourself? And I hope to direct them. But my whole profession has been in student services. And I started as a counselor, been a dean, vice president, came to district, been asked to lead the modernization project for SIS. And then I transitioned over to EPI, which is now the Division of Academic and Student Services. And every day, my focus has been students. What is best for students? How can I help them? How can I help my colleagues? My CSSO council in particular, how do we work together to make sure we reach as many people as possible, as many students? And so it's been an extremely fulfilling career. And I'm grateful. And I will miss it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. All right, we're going to move on to announcements and indications of future proposed actions by members of the Board of Trustees. Would any of my colleagues like to make an announcement or indicate future proposed actions? Trustee Veras?
Not so much an announcement, but I did want to, this is the first time I got a chance to go to 2 graduations in one day this past year, and I wanted to thank all the staff. There's so much work that takes place in the graduation ceremonies, and luckily it wasn't, the shade was appreciated, the efforts that everybody takes. But I know sometimes we go through graduations pretty quick, and we get a chance to say thank you to all the wonderful work that the staff puts on to make those things work. So thank you.
Thank you. I did want to thank ELAC for the graduation. It was interesting. Everything was perfect with the ELAC graduation, everything, but they ran out of seats. I forget how you handled so many students graduating. The photographer said, you still have 700 hands to shake. And I was like, wow. And then I turned around to my friend Monteperes over here, and I was the one shaking all the hands, and he was over there with an air conditioning over there. But to see the enrollment growth at ELAC was just astounding. And that was, it's called, remember the whole concept of good trouble as a good thing, to run out of seats. And literally next year we're going to have to shift the stadium this way to accommodate all of the families that we literally ran out. And I've been at ELAC at least 4 times, and I've never seen that before. So I'm not sure, colleagues, if anyone else saw that, but just congratulations to ELAC.
I just have to mention, I was a few weekends ago, I was at it was an event for justice impact individuals guiding rage, guiding rage into power, folks that have re-entered into the program. I was talking to an artist that was highlighted there, and I mentioned I was a community college trustee, and he said, I just graduated from ELAC. Do you know this guy? And he pulled out a picture of him with you, Trustee Well. So you're famous.
Thank you very much.
He was really proud of that picture.
Thank
so.
you. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Okay, so we are going to move on to public comment. The First Amendment and the Brown Act guarantee a member of the public the right to criticize a public employee or public official in the performance of their duties. However, speakers are encouraged to focus their comments on issues relevant to the conduct of the public's business rather than on private or unrelated matters. Speakers are reminded that the Brown Act and First Amendment do not protect defamatory statements, which may subject a speaker to personal liability. Are there any members of the public signed up to address the board regarding matters not on the agenda?
President Hernandez, is it okay to ensure, I know we have certain topics where they're lumped together, and I know we only get 20 minutes per topic.
Yeah.
So in the interest of time, I don't know if we want to make a recommendation to consolidate so everyone gets to be heard on some of the topics.
Okay. Do that. You want to consolidate to like
a minute and a half.
A minute and a half. Okay, 2 minutes.
Can you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to make each comment, what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, what,
Minute and a half.
a minute and a half, right? Because the first
I'll
one-
second.
Okay.
Roll call? Do we need to do roll call or on that? Roll call, please.
Student trustee Campos advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Buona?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vella?
Yes.
Trustee Veras?
Okay, we have no. Okay, first we have Dr. Tadios Belay. And after that, we have Mame Mbaye, Thrui BM, and Kofi Pepra.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chancellor Roman and Board of Trustees. I just want to say thank you to all of you for the work you have done to our communities, especially for our immigrant and refugee communities. It's because of you guys and your leadership. They're safe and protected. So thank you for the work you're doing. My name is Dr. Tadios Belay. I am the Executive Director for U.S. African Institute, an organization that I started when I was doing my PhD at USC 6-7 years ago to protect immigrant and undocumented and international students on our college campus and beyond. And then, and most importantly, I'm a community organizer here in Los Angeles and across the country. And I also work with a number of universities and colleges across the country, over 550 chancellors and board of trustees and colleges and universities through our President's Alliance for Higher Education and Immigration project. And today, I'm here representing over 25 community organizations and advocates in support of Dr. Gerber's leadership. I just want to share my experience. I'm a refugee from Ethiopia. I came to the United States as a refugee, and I remember I think we have 4 or 5 speakers. So if you can give me a few more minutes, I would appreciate that. So my experience working with LACCD College. So I reached out to them, I think 4 or 5 years ago, to host Refugee Day and a community events on campus, and they denied us to have access, on campus. And a few years after, I reached out again to see if they would be, interested to be more inclusive of refugees and immigrant, communities, in our city? And then they said yes. And I didn't even know Dr. Gabriel, until that point. And I invited our community leaders and community organization to go with me to meet him. And ever since, he has opened, the door to our community members. We work with diverse communities, from Africa, from the Caribbean and South and Central American countries. And also, with our Hispanic brothers and sisters and students and community members. And, he's been, very intentional, as Chancellor Romans said, access is not enough. And community colleges are also like, it's about our communities, as Trustee Stevens said. And that's exactly what Dr. Gabriel has been doing, being intentional in terms of engaging and then partnering with our community organizations, our communities across the city. That's what he has been doing, to our communities. And I respectfully request all of you to reject, to dismiss, and denounce the vote of no confidence against him. And he deserves his leadership. And honestly, thank you so much again for the work you are doing for our students, for our communities, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So we have a couple of speakers. I know Ambassador Ma'am Bai, she's not here, representing over 100 something countries. In Los Angeles, she's unable to make it here. But we have a couple of community leaders here as well to speak. If you can allow us, give us in a few minutes, I would appreciate that. Thank you so much again.
Okay, thank you. If you could state your name when you make your.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Suri Blandon. I'm an educator here in Los Angeles in international humanitarian. I'm here to speak on behalf of Dr. Gabriel and his leadership. I attest to what my colleague said, me being part of the U.S. Africa Institute. He has graciously opened the doors of the campus for us to hold Africa event days, community events as well, where we connect the African diaspora with Los Angeles. It's a promote student comes from an immigrant family. I can attest how important it is to have diversity. A lot of my mentors, they have not only been Latinos like me, but have been mentors from all walks of life, from all colors. And I think Dr. Gabriel's also, his story resonates with a lot of immigrant students and first generation students like myself, even though his skin color might be the different, but we also need to remember that Los Angeles is not just one color, it's a multicultural city, and we need to continue these spaces be allowed to all of us, not just a single group. So I would respectfully ask the board member and community members to reject that vote and allow Dr. Gabriel to continue his leadership and show us what he has to offer. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, Chancellors and member of the Board of Trustees. My name is Sanait. I'm the Executive Director of African Communities Public Health Coalition, known as African Coalition. I'm standing before you to express my deep support to Dr. Gabriel. Since his presidency, Dr. Gabriel been working with the community. I like the Chancellor's presentation. It's about representing underserved communities, immigrant refugee communities, which has been seen otherwise less opportunity. Dr. Gabriel is one of the example to be indicated based on your statement. He's a scholar, came from the immigrant community and beat the odds. He is earned his quality leadership and education as immigrants in the refugee community, despite the challenges. He didn't stop there. He come back to us. I was a student, a college student one time. I wish we have a leader, the Dr. Gabriel, that it comes to community, reach out to us, let us know what education means. We have the right to have an access education, not because of we are status or the color of our skin. That's the kind of person he brings into new initiatives, engagement, the community leaders. Let me tell you something. I'm a community leader. Leadership looks good when you see it somebody else's hand. Action is different. Leadership is a growing process, a learning process where you can acknowledge differences, narrow the gap. That's what Dr. Gabriel is doing to our community too. So I ask respectfully to look at the really deep what is the outcome of LACC and the general society and make your judgment and just. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. My name is Kofi Pepra. I'm adjunct professor at almost every community college district here. I'm already here with LACCD, Long Beach City College, Glendale College, Victorville, Riverside. And I'm here in support of Dr. Gabriel because I personally work with him. When our community wanted to organize African Day, we sent it to that college and he welcomed us. He was amazing. He actually participated in it. And after that, we spent time just talking with him. And as somebody who is very interested in student homelessness, community college homelessness, I shared that with him. And he's like, man, we are on it. We're trying to help take students off the street. We want to make sure that any student who come to LACCD college doesn't sleep on the street. And he's also not even focused on just California. He's also looking at international students. He spent time reaching out to students all over the world, especially Ghana, which is my native country. That's what I love. He's been there helping to recruit students and also bringing resources to the college. So we feel like, you know, somebody like that, we should not base our judgment on just a few disgruntled faculty who say we don't like that, but we want to see his holistic approach to what it means to be a president of a college. So in this case, we respectfully ask the chancellor and the team just to reject that vote of no confidence. We don't want anything that would taint his records. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for your comments. Counselor.
Yeah, and I'll just as far as process, you know, as the chancellor, I'm the primary evaluator of college presidents, and I make recommendations to the board regarding performance and evaluations. And I want to make it clear that there is no action tonight before the board. So I just want to clarify. Thank you.
Just ask fairness. Thanks.
We also, do we have a hand up? Is there a hand up in the chat?
Yes, but they haven't stated their name or the subject. So we do have number 5 on Zoom, Samar J. White.
Miss-
Samar J. White? Please unmute yourself. He's not responding. Samar J. White?
Yes, sorry about that. Have a 2-year-old son here that decides he wants to yell. How you doing?
Wrap it up, 1.5 minutes.
Yes. My name is Samar J. White. Good afternoon, Chancellor and Board of Trustees. I am a fellow LACC graduate that transferred to Sacramento State University, and I'm here to respectfully ask that you reject, dismiss, and denounce the vote of no confidence for Dr. Gabriel. I met Dr. Gabriel. I was a troubled student, you know, formerly incarcerated, demographic background of gang affiliation, and I met him in a parking lot. This man single-handedly saved my life. I told him a story about I got my window shot out, literally before coming upon graduation. I didn't know if I wanted to keep going to school. This man brought me to Africa, study abroad trip, with a group called AMEN. It's an African American Education Network and Developing Program that helps underrepresented Black men to retain better graduation rates at a university. We had a few talks, and by the looks of it, you know, I told him all what I faced at Los Angeles City College in the systemic racism. And he told me everything was going to be okay. This man stepped in for not just for me, but for many other underrepresented scholars that come from LACC. And I know you only have a minute, so I can't tell you all the accolades that this man has done, which by I mean overdone coming to King and Normandy to come and find me because I was not able to go to school. And if anybody knows, King of Normandy is not very much of a safe neighborhood. So here we are. 4 years later, I obtained a bachelor's degree in political science, and I'm pursuing a master's in ethnic studies. What I really wanted to count is for a thank you for Dr. Gabru, because he not only saved me, but thousands of students in this Amend program. One of them being Charles, Mr. Charles, and he's a recent black graduate from Berkeley University, formerly incarcerated, 43 years old, and received the highest honor from them. So that is some things that we need to take in consideration for having a no voters confidence for a great figure as that. And I've heard earlier that they want to save our students. Well, how do you save them? Is stop removing the leaders that go above and beyond for students that are underrepresented.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
White.
President Hernandez, we do have one more speaker from the first group.
Okay.
For Abeba.
Okay.
Please unmute yourself.
My name is Ababao Ambasau. I'm a proud former student of Los Angeles City College. I got my all engineering classes at LACCD, so I'm a family to LACCD. I'm sorry to hear the loss of a son, one of our students from the community. I lost a son, so I feel the pain. What I am here today is to let you know that with Dr. Gabru's cooperation and the staff collaboration, we have been able to host a family day where students from Charles Drew University, medical students, came and showed with American Heart Association, American Red Cross, to show the community the impact of happy, healthy heart lifestyle. So with Dr. Gabru's collaboration, we were able to host such an important impact event at the college. I respectfully ask the trustees and the chancellor to denounce, reject, and actually give a recommendation to Dr. Gabru for his outstanding work, not only for the community, for the students who are going there to have 100% transfer students, students to get their degrees in various studies that they take. So please do consider what he's going through through construction at the university to make sure that the students get the education that they need. We respect him. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other speakers?
We have 3 more on a separate topic.
Okay.
Next is Jill Biondo.
Online?
In person.
In person. Hello.
Good afternoon. This is not a separate topic. It's the same topic. My name is Jill Biondo. I am a member of the Los Angeles City College Academic Senate. I'm a faculty member there. And after consulting with my colleagues, I voted against the vote of no confidence. Again, I'm targeting Dr. Gabru, and I'm here today because I think the board needs to understand why. First, the Senate vote of no confidence was 18-14 with 2 abstentions. That's not a mandate. That is divided body, and I would ask this board to weigh this resolution accordingly. I have serious concerns about the process itself. Many of the whereas clauses, the stated justifications for this action, assert conclusions without providing foundation for them. Phrases like concerns have been raised and patterns have emerged appear repeatedly, yet neither I nor my colleagues have been shown any evidence to substantiate the claims, and requests for that evidence were ignored. We should not be taking one of the most serious actions available to us on the basis of unverified claims and preconceived conclusions. Hard evidence is not optional here. It is the minimum standard. I also believe context matters here. The president inherited a difficult environment from the moment he was hired, and I think that history deserves acknowledgement. Collegiality is cited as a concern in this resolution, but collegiality must run in both directions. Before we formally question a leader's commitment to collegiality, we should honestly examine whether that same standard was extended to Dr. Gerbrew from the moment he was hired. A vote of no confidence is a profound and consequential act. It should have been evidence-based, built on clearer process, and supported by a far less divided vote. But I also want to name something that I think deserves the board's attention. We talk often about equity and inclusion on our campus, but equity has to apply to everyone, including those in leadership. Microaggressions and implicit bias are a campus-wide problem. Dr. Gerbrew has experienced this firsthand. I have observed dynamics on our campus that I believe this board should examine as part of any review of this situation. I urge you to receive this resolution with appropriate skepticism. Thank you.
Next, we have Quincy Singleton. Hello.
Good afternoon. This is also related to the previous topic. Good afternoon to the Chancellor and Board of Trustees. My name is Quincy Singleton. I am full-time faculty in the Psychology Department at LACCD College and a member of the Academic Senate. I respectfully ask the board to reject, denounce, and repudiate the vote of no confidence against President Gerbrew. As Professor Biondo mentioned, the vote was very close. But I think an important factor to consider is only about 26% of the Academic Senate voting members voted. So of 65 members, it was roughly 34 or 35 people who voted. This vote should not be treated as a collective expression of campus community. President Gerbrew took office. Before President Gerbrew took office, faculty circulated a letter against his presidency because they wanted another president. He began under organized opposition. Less than 2 years later, the Academic Senate was discussing a possible vote of no confidence, and then 3 years later, the Academic Senate followed through with the vote of no confidence. However, under President Gebrew's leadership, enrollment, course completion, degrees, certificates, FTES, all increased. This vote of no confidence also raises serious racial equity concerns, including racially coded language in the survey disseminated by the Academic Senate and a comment in a recent Senate meeting by one of the Senate exec teams that said Gerbrew needed to man up. I'm almost done, I promise. President Gerbrew is not above criticism, but the vote of no confidence reflects a rushed process, pre-existing opposition, insufficient consideration of documented progress, and serious racial and equity concerns. For those reasons, I ask the board to reject, denounce, and repudiate it. Thank you.
Thank you. We next have Anna Lay.
Good afternoon, trustees, Chancellor Rahman. My name is Anna Lay, and I serve as the president of the Los Angeles City College Academic Senate. I am here to report that the Academic Senate approved Resolution 10 Spring 26, a vote of no confidence in LACC President Dr. Emmanuel Gerbrew on June 4th. This resolution was transmitted to the board and chancellor on June 8th. This action was not based on a single incident. It reflects longstanding concerns regarding shared governance, communication, accountability, leadership effectiveness, institutional planning, and administrative stability. These concerns were raised repeatedly through governance processes, consultation, and formal recommendations before the Senate concluded that a vote of no confidence was warranted. Unfortunately, many of these concerns remain unresolved. The departure of yet another vice president, delays in decisions affecting instructor special assignment positions that's supposed to start today, and project proposals appearing on today's agenda without review through established governance committees continue to raise questions about transparency, consultation, and effective leadership. The resolution requests a formal review of governance, campus climate, administrative turnover, and decision-making practices, appropriate corrective actions based on those findings. The Senate remains committed to shared governance, institutional integrity, and student success. We hope this process will help rebuild trust and strengthen the college. I also respectfully ask the board to ensure that the voices of LACC faculty are heard. While others may offer perspectives, it is the LACC community that experiences the effects of leadership decisions every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. With no other public comment, okay. Sure. Mhm.
Good afternoon, first of all.
Good afternoon.
I'm one of your older students or younger, as you see. And I'm a student at LA City College, a journalism student. And what I have found out on this subject, I'm so surprised to hear it today. I brought the magazines that we published. And in the spirit of my professor, I would say that we've gotten some backlash from our own staff to have a magazine. So it was quite an accomplishment. I ask you to please take one. And on the subject of our president, I will say that two things. One, we fought for cards to be removed from the area where our newspaper is set for you to pick up. And there was a card, and I told him, you know, come on, look. I finally saw him on campus, and I said, sir, this is my problem. You got cards in front of our newspapers. That is not, you know, First Amendment and all that. It looks great. The other subject that I have asked the president of the college to help me with, and that is bringing Michael Dyson to our campus, a person that has been charged with sexual harassment at Victor, you know, the college. He's been charged, and yet he's brought to our campus twice. And I asked the president to please help me get him off that list that he's allowed to speak at our college. So two things. One is he's been supportive, and the other one, I'm going to give him the opportunity. And I just wanted to let you know. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. We're going to move on to public comment for regarding closed session agenda matters. Are there any members of the public that have signed up to address the board regarding closed session agenda items?
Yes, ma'am. We have 4 speakers.
Okay. First one we have is Vladimir Nemirovsky.
My name is Vladimir Nemirovsky. I am a general foreman at LA Trade Tech. I am 60, married, daughter in college. I'm 2 months away from vesting in my pension, and I've been in administrative leave for 450 days. I've made my living in the trades for more than 20 years. I've supervised teams of tradespeople. No one has ever accused me of misconduct, not once, not at SOA Trade Tech. I was met with accusations, defiance, and open hostility unparalleled in my career. While being told to my face that my job doesn't exist is one thing, having the same employee claim that I threatened murder is another. That was March 1st, 2025. And let me address it directly. I did no such thing. I'm not here because I failed to do my job. I'm here because I was doing it. The only threat I posed was holding employees accountable. And how? Show up to work on time, do your work, don't make excuses, be honest. I kept my supervisors aware of the personnel issues. I pressed HR for rules I could apply even-handedly. Then the very employees I was working with HR to discipline became my accusers. That isn't speculation. Emails can prove that in black and white, but most of those are not part of the record before you. So I'm accused. Do I get escorted off campus? No. Does the sheriff's department respond? No. Do I stop supervising? No. HR tells me to continue as normal. Does the threatened man stay away in fear for his life? No. I'm not placed on leave until April 7th. I immediately make myself available for an investigation, but months pass before I'm even contacted. I leave my interview thinking, this nightmare is coming to an end. Instead, silence, no report, no updates. My key witnesses never interviewed. I received the investigative report 6 months after it is written, with no opportunity to rebut the new information within. By then, every HR employee I had ever worked with was no longer with the district. Before Skelly, my union requested documents necessary for my defense. None were provided before the hearing. Only afterward did small batches trickle in, and those supported what I had been saying all along. And finally, just weeks ago, June 12th, HR informed me that the sheriff's report referenced multiple times in the Skelly documents do not exist. So I ask, if important information wasn't available before Skelly, if key assumptions turned out to be incorrect, shouldn't that matter? Motive, timing, and retaliation, was any of that seriously explored? Context is fact, and facts matter. So before you end my career and before you destroy my reputation and impact my family's future, make certain you have them, and that means all of them. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Next, we have Melissa Licon.
Yes. Good afternoon, Board of Trustees. Melissa Licon with SEIU Local 721 here today on behalf of Mr. Vladimir Nemirovsky regarding the recommendation for his dismissal. We respectfully request that this recommendation be rescinded and that Mr. Nemirovsky be returned to his position as general foreman. The proposed discipline is based on 2 allegations. First, that Mr. Nemirovsky allegedly made threatening statements about a subordinate complaining party number 2 in February of 2025. Second, that during a Zoom meeting on March 19th, 2025, he allegedly made a threatening statement, and both are the basis for this proposed discipline. Our position is that the proposed discharge is unsupported by substantial evidence and is the result of a flawed investigation that violated basic principles of due process and just cause. First, there are significant inconsistencies regarding the timing of the allegations. The disciplinary charges state that a threat was made in February of 2025. However, according to the investigator's own report, subordinate and complaining party number 1 claims the statement was made during the summer of 2024. This discrepancy is critical. If complaining party number 1 truly believed a serious threat had been made, it is difficult to explain why he waited more than 6 months to report it or inform complaining party number 2. Additionally, complaining party number 2 never personally heard Mr. Nemirovsky make any threat. His complaint is entirely based on what complaining party number 1 allegedly told him. In other words, the first allegation is based primarily on hearsay rather than direct evidence. Second, the investigation itself was incomplete. Key witnesses were never interviewed, including a general foreman and ELR rep who were present in the Zoom meeting. Mr. Nemirovsky also provided a list of witnesses, a majority of whom were never contacted. Failing to interview individuals who could provide relevant or exculpatory evidence undermines the fairness and reliability of the investigation. The March 19th, 2025 Zoom meeting presents similar concerns. Only one participant, an ELR rep complaining party number 3, claimed Mr. Nemirovsky made a threat. However, 3 other individuals present, including Mr. Nemirovsky's Director of College Facilities, Vice President of Administrative Services, and a second general foreman who had supervised complaining party number 2, either heard no threat or understood the comment as Mr. Nemirovsky repeating an accusation that had been made against him. The Director of College Facilities, who was physically in the room with Mr. Nemirovsky during the meeting, stated he did not hear Mr. Nemirovsky make the threat alleged by ELR complaining party number 3. Almost done. We also note that Mr. Nemirovsky has no prior disciplinary history. Despite the severity of the proposed penalty, the district bypassed progressive discipline and moved directly to a discharge. Finally, the union submitted requests for information that were not answered, including requests for complaints, reports, and supporting documentation. This lack of disclosure prevented a full and fair review of the allegations prior to the Skelly meeting with President Gribbons. Information was shared after the Skelly, after the union mentioned an unfair labor practice. It was minimal, and we believe information exists that could easily still be provided. In closing, the first allegation is based on delayed and uncorroborated hearsay. The second allegation is contradicted by multiple witnesses, and the investigation failed to include critical testimony and evidence. And for these reasons, we respectfully request that the proposed discipline be rescinded and that Mr. Nemrovsky be returned to his position. Thank you.
I'll try to speak quickly.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Chancellor, members of the board. My name is Stephanie Farrell, and I am Vladimir Nemrovsky's wife. And today, you are being asked to make a life-changing decision about a man, a career, and a family. And I need to say this plainly. This case should give this board pause. No one is saying don't take workplace safety seriously, but accusations that are this outrageous require a meticulous and credible investigation that did not happen here. 2 different accusations were conflated. They were allowed to snowball together over 15 months, each making the other one seem more true. One is hearsay, the other is directly refuted by firsthand witnesses in that HR meeting. So this case comes down to credibility. You've been hearing about this non-existent sheriff report that was referenced multiple times in an official investigation. Okay, that is not the whole case, but these things give an accusation's weight. I mean, think about this. An employee says he's going to make a sheriff's report, and the HR person states that she believes a sheriff report was made. That's a direct quote. And the independent investigator includes that in her final report as fact. I mean, that failure of basic fact-checking and due diligence in this case is shocking. And that should become a tipping point, and that should flag you, the board, to review every part of this file with caution. Look who speaks for Vlad's character and who was in that HR meeting. The witnesses include his co-foreman, his supervisor, his supervisor's supervisor. That goes up to the VP level of trade tech. I mean, are they not to be believed? And we have, Vlad also submitted this 11-page formal complaint detailing discipline issues and retaliation against him. But we have no acknowledgement from ELR that they ever looked into his claims, nor that he was allowed access to his email for supporting documentation. So why was Vlad not treated with the same seriousness that was afforded to his accusers? I mean, how is one side taken at face value and the other side is ignored? And this doesn't end when Vlad is placed on leave. The same employees use the same buzzwords of threats of violence to get another manager placed on leave. The same employees continue the same behavior under Vlad's co-foreman, who has documented and that insubordination with HR and asked for help with discipline. Wouldn't you like to see those files? And all of this matters because this shows this is not about Vlad. This is a workplace problem the district has known about for years. Now, I have been married to Vlad for 20 years. He is passionate, he is stubborn, and he can be intense when he thinks that something is wrong, but it is laughable to say that he is violent. He is a man who shows up for me, for his daughter, for his 83-year-old mother, for his friends of 40 years. He shows up for problems, for responsibilities, for people who count on him. And that same quality is what made him so valuable as a supervisor. He cares when things are done right, accountability. And for 450 days, he has been stuck at home, life on hold. It has been so hard to watch the toll that this has taken on him. So I am asking you, the board, as leaders, please take a hard look at the conditions at LACCD that produced a lopsided, flawed investigation and this unreasonably delayed and damaging process. If you vote for dismissal, you have made Vlad a casualty of a broken workplace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bruce Hicks. I am the chapter president, LACCD. All of you have spoken eloquently about some issues and concerns that we have been addressing with the district. At the same college where Vlad worked, there have been 5 SEIU 721 supervisors placed on admin leave, investigated, synopsis giving of investigations. At certain points, we demanded transcripts. And guess what we found? Similar to what is going on in Vlad's case. We didn't get a transcript for Vlad's case, but in other cases, we looked at what the investigator said. And guess what? The transcripts did not support what the synopsis said. And we were able to bring our employees back to work. We have no transcripts. We have the request for information that we asked for has not been met. Before you take somebody's career for any serious issue, you better make sure that you do your due diligence. You're putting somebody's life, career on the line. We're not asking for anything but fairness and equity in this process. If that was the rule of the day, then we would not be here with this concern. We have a right as exclusive representative before we go into a Skelly meeting to get that information so we can effectively represent our members. We have been denied of that opportunity. And Vlad has to pay the penalty by losing his career. I don't see where the fairness or equity falls in place. If you made a case against our member, then give us the information and allow us to defend it effectively. If you do not, then you are violating our members' rights and other rights of employees within the LACCD. I see this as a miscarriage of justice because we are able to turn around once we got the information that we needed at a Skelly, at a board meeting, turn that information around. I've never seen so many, I just gotta be honest, sloppy investigative reports where you're calling for years from people's lives that they've already given to a public sector entity, and you're gonna take that without the transcripts, without the information, without giving their exclusive representative the opportunity to give them effective advocacy. If that's where we stand, then this process is a joke, because if we're bringing cases without supporting document, hey, we're game. Give us what you got, and we will defend our member. But we cannot defend our members effectively without the information that we need. It's only fair, and it's a part of the legal basis in the Ed Code. So it speaks for itself. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The board will now recess to closed session in accordance with the Ralph M. Brown Act, Government Code Section 54950, and the Education Code to discuss the matters on the posted closed session agenda pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.5. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the meeting is now recessed to closed session.
So ordered.